Good afternoon. So this is our first tournament of the year, and our archers today are starting at our first target is Suresh Maleshwar, and at our one right we have Connor Ham. At 2 left we have Izzy Bowman. At 2 right we have Addie Vickers. At 3 left we have Addison Robinette. At 3 right we have Kendall Bailey, who is our top archer from Bondrett Middle School today. At 4 left we have Caroline Armstrong. At 4 right we have Zoe Payton. At 5 left we have Sarah Delong. At 5 right we have Daniel Allen. At 6 left we have Kinsley Alford. At 6 right we have Nicole Collingsworth. At 7 left we have Madison Allen. At 7 right we have Evan Alford. And we don't have anyone on 8 left today, but on 8 right we have Allie Fent, and all of our shooters in this round are from Bondrett Middle School. This is the first tournament this year, and it's the first tournament for a lot of these archers since they are in middle school, and so they could have started in middle school, or they could have been shooting since elementary school, and now they're continuing. But very different this year with COVID regulations. So they just completed their first practice round at 10 meters. They will have a practice round and then 3 scoring rounds, and they will repeat that again once they get to 15 meters. Our coach today, and for this, is John Stout. He's our Bondrett Middle School coach. So he's down there talking with his archers, getting them excited and ready to shoot. The archers get 5 arrows per round, and this is the first time they'll be scored for this tournament. They've already had their practice round, and now they're shooting for score. The highest you can score is a 50, and that is all 5 right in the 10. The scoring rings go from 10 all the way out to 1, being the last white ring, and then anything outside of that, or if you miss the target, is a 0, and it's just scored as a 0. But you want to try to keep it inside the yellow. Keep it inside the yellow, you at least have a 45. So this year, especially with COVID, the scoring has changed. Typically at a tournament, they are scoring one another. There's partners, and so you would shoot with someone else, and you score them, and they score you, and then you verify that they did that correctly. But that is different this year because since we can't be trading papers back and forth. Now our officials that are helping with the tournament they're doing the scoring. And something new also with the scoring this year is the NASP now has an app. National Archery in the Schools program now has an app, and we are testing out the scoring through that. So we'll do it all on paper, and then at the end of the tournament, we'll put it into the app to score it that way. Something else that's common with archery is often siblings will follow in their older siblings' footsteps. As Caroline Armstrong, that's shooting today, her older brother shoots for Western Hills, Nick Armstrong. He will be shooting, I'm not sure if he's shooting today or tomorrow, but she is following in her older brother's footsteps as many people do, that's a common thing in archery, is it to be sort of a family thing, because they can practice with their siblings and it's something they'll be able to do forever. You can't really outgrow archery. And again, this is not how typically a tournament works. We're usually seeing a lot more action and just like socialization, but because of distancing, it takes a lot longer this year because of each individual archer has to be scored by an adult rather than by their shooting partner, since we don't have shooting partners this year. So now we're at our second scoring round for 10 meters. After this, they'll score their arrows and have one final scoring round. Another new COVID regulation with archery is we have to keep our masks on while we shoot. So it's kind of different because you're drawing back, touching your face, and so with that extra layer of something there, it's something we've had to adjust to, but we're doing what we can to stay safe and still be able to compete. And a lot of the girls will wear their hair in either like ponytails or braids, but a lot of the girls will sometimes do braids to represent like matching Katniss from Hunger Games, who was an archer as well. Just gotta keep it out of our faces. We wouldn't want it to get caught. So now they're gonna go back up and score their second round. And they're gonna wait for for an adult to come score their arrows and wait for the next round. See, we can see right now at one left, we've got an adult on the range that's scoring for us. So this is something that typically wouldn't happen unless you had a question about which arrow was what, if you weren't sure if it was maybe an 8 or a 9, or if it was a 7 or an 8, just depending on. They're usually line judges just to justify the scores, just settle any, maybe not disagreements, but uncertainties about what the score may be if you and your partner couldn't figure that out. That's typically what they're there for, or to fix incorrect marks on any score sheets, but now they are the scorers. So we're making our way through the scoring. It seems to be going a little quicker this round. We're getting more of the hang of it. Last time we were just trying to figure it out, but now we're able to score a little faster, get to the next round. And these are fellow coaches from the county that are here helping today to score, that are here. They're going to be here helping today and tomorrow to score and just being our lane judges. We have coaches from Bondurant, from Western Hills, from 2nd Street, from Frankfort High, from Franklin County, and from Elkhorn Middle. So right now is the last time they'll be scored at 10 meters, and then they'll move back to 15 meters for another practice and 3 rounds of scoring. And the way that the archers face is really based on it's based on being left-handed or right-handed and which way they shoot. So that's why they're not all facing the same way, because your bow is going to be held differently based on right-handed or left-handed. But they all stand on the same line. And usually when you're shooting with a partner, you may feel like you're off center on a target, but shooting by yourself, you got the whole target to yourself. You can be at whatever spot on. You don't have to be dead center if you don't want to, but that's typically where you want to be. Just more comfortable to stand there than to the side. So that's one advantage of getting to shoot by yourself this year. Something else that's unique about archery is it's boys and girls competing together. We aren't separated. We all shoot in the same tournaments together. Even though our awards at the end are separated, we aren't. We're still able to shoot together. And a lot of the times, like, you may think that it's more of a boy sport, but usually we have more girls on the team than we do boys. We're usually needing more boys to be on the team, but at least that's how it is at Western Hills. We're usually needing more boys. We have a lot of girls on the team. And when you score, you score 12 archers for a team score, and at least 4 of them have to be if you can have 8 girls, but you have to have at least 4 boys. So, and that's the same way for boys. You could have 8 boys, but you have to have at least 4 girls on the scoring. So it doesn't matter how you divvy it up, but there has to be at least 4 of whichever of either boy or girl that's not the majority. So it really all just depends on your scoring. If all your girls are in the top, then you take the top 8 and then the top 4 boys would be next. Or if all your boys are, say you have 4 boys that are in the top 12, or 12 boys making up your top 12, you can only take the top 8 because you've got to have 4 girls in that score as well. The highest that an individual can score is 300, which it's not something that we see a lot of the times, but a lot of people get close. 290s, 297, and like 298. Those happen. 280s and 270s is pretty common for high school, but especially in middle school and elementary too. Just it's all about the archer. But like I was talking about earlier, if you keep it inside the yellow, you've at least got a 45. If you've got a 45 average, if you've got at least a 45 every round, you've got at least at least a 270. And that's pretty good. Down there on the floor, we have Lisa Fry. She is one of our NASP coordinators. She is very important to NASP, and she is always helping us out, always working for NASP. We love Lisa Fry. What? Oh, the green. Okay, sorry. I don't know all the coaches' names. I thought you were asking for a name. So it's our first round at 15 meters. They've got 5 practice arrows before they've got 3 more rounds of scoring, 5 arrows each scoring round as well. '15 is can typically be a harder round just because the distance can be intimidating, but its target doesn't change, just the distance, but it's a hard thing to remember. It can be intimidating because it's only 5 more meters, but it feels so much farther away when you're actually down there shooting. And that's the thing about archery, it's a mind thing. You gotta remember that you're still aiming, you're still doing the same steps, you're just a little farther away. You gotta change your aim point a little, but your goal is still the same, that center ring. And the girl that we are just watching, that is Sarah Delong, and you might have seen the arm guard she had on. Often they might wear that because the string might hit their arm whenever they release, so that's what that's for, just to protect it, because sometimes that can happen, and it does not feel good. It can be pretty painful. And there's John Stout down there. He encouraging his archers. He's doing a great job. So we love John, cheering him on. So there won't be any scoring this round, just going up, pulling arrows, and heading back for our first scoring round at 15. And that's how we're supposed to hold our arrows. We're supposed to hold them with 2 hands so that in case we were to trip or fall, you wouldn't hurt yourself. And so safely, that's how we've been taught since elementary school. So this is our first scoring round at 15. These arrows will go into the final score. So they've got this round and 2 more. And then the final scores will be out. And you can see for each archer, no bow or no arrows is alike, where over the years we've gotten more and more colors for arrows and bows. Now you can even customize your own bow to make it whatever you want to look like. You can pick out all kinds of patterns and colors, and you can even have a camouflage bow or have a carbon fiber bow. So it's really gotten customizable over the years as archery has grown as a sport. And the arrows are also different now. Now we've got, it used to just be blue and gold. Now we've got black arrows, we've got teal arrows, we've got purple arrows. So all kinds. And then the fletchings are very different too. I'm not sure how well you can see them, but they're at the top of the arrow, and they can be whatever color. It's typically two colors, and then you've got one that's different, so that's the one that faces the archer. And those are pretty much customizable too, so that's fun to pick out. It's fun to get to customize what your arrows are going to look like, and so that they're unique to you. This is our last archer on the line for this round. Typically you get 2 minutes per round, and so usually the line judges won't really say anything unless you're up there for like 5 minutes, but typically everyone's out in about 1 minute after shooting, or between 1 and 2 minutes is what it typically takes. So this will be our first scored round of arrows at 15. And our lane judges will go up again and help with the scoring for that. It's just a waiting game at this point. And for the scoring, the outside white ring is 1, the next one in is 2, and then the black and white is 3 and 4. The blue is 5 and 6. The red is 7 and 8, and then we've got 9 and 10 in the middle. The 10 has 2 rings, but as long as you're in the first one, the score doesn't change. Just the center one is just to see for closer. who that is in the blue down there. I'm pretty sure it's Pat O'Connell, the state coordinator, but I'm not sure. So now we are in our second scoring round at 15. And that hand falling back across the face, that is the proper way to follow through. That is the way that we're taught, but some people, sometimes we'll modify it, just keep our hand on our face. But that's a nice release that we're seeing. And that is our line judge right there. That green means that it is safe to go out to the range, and that is the archer signal that it's okay to go out now. They're able to get out there. The red means that they're waiting. It's not time to shoot, but green means you're ready to go on the range. So we are finishing up the scoring for this round, and we've just got a few archers left. Is Pat O'Connell in the blue state coordinator? Okay, and Lisa's state coordinator? In the hat? Okay. Kaya? Okay. If you can get a shot of the guy in the blue, I can talk about him. So right now we've got our state and national coordinators talking to each other. Lisa, our state coordinator, and Pat O'Connell. He is our national coordinator, and that's Lisa Fry. And so they are both very good, and they're good at their job and do lots of good work for NASP. They've been with NASP for a while. And the lady in the hat that's in front of them, she's our regional coordinator. That's Kaya. And our state and national coordinators, they're here to help with trying out the new scoring app for NASP, as I was talking about earlier. So that's why they're here. They're here to help with assisting that and testing that out and making sure that runs smoothly, since this tournament will be testing that and testing how that works and just making sure it runs smoothly. So we're very thankful that they're here to help us with that. This is our third scoring round, our third and final scoring round from 15, and for this end of the tournament. These are the last arrows that will be scored for them. After this, they just wait for their score. We've got 2 archers left on the line, shooting their last arrows for their score in this tournament. That is Coach Bill Jones down there in the green. He is our Western Hills coach, and he has been coaching here for a very, very long time. He has 2 sons that are shooting, Xander and Evan. They'll be shooting tomorrow morning, but he is our wonderful coach here at Western Hills, talking with the coach from Frankfort High. So right now our archers are moving their arrows up to the 10-meter line to put them back up there for the archers that will be shooting behind them in the next round. in the next round of the tournament, they will be there. So they just put them back there for them. And now we wait for our line judges to finish with the scoring, and this end of the tournament will be done. We'll be done with our first flight. Typically, our line judges will always either wear an orange or yellow vest just so that the archers know if they need any help with anything, they can go to them. And we see our national coordinator, Pat O'Connell, down there. He is helping with, it looks like he's helping with using the app for the scoring. So, like I said, they're here to help us with that. And first tournament it's being used at. We are the pilot tournament for this app and the scoring aspect of the app. So at the end of the tournaments, the archers will usually either take the faces off and just put them down and we'll get rid of them, or the archers are able to take them home. And that's something really special, especially if you do really well. You can see like how many times you hit the center, and so it's nice to have something to keep from it. And so, yeah, that's something that if they want to, they're able to keep and take along with them. And having no shooting partners this year, there's no conflict of who would want to keep it, so it's all to yourself. So the archers now are just helping get rid of the old faces so that we can get up fresh faces for the new archers that are coming in for this next flight at 7. Now we've got Bill Jones and Lisa Fry. Lisa Fry, our state coordinator. Bill Jones, our Western Hills coach. And Bill is just looking forward to us being the pilot school for this pilot tournament for this new scoring app. We're going to take a quick break and we will be back with our next round and our next flight. So we're back now for our second flight of tonight with shooters from Frankfort High and 2nd Street. This will be our first practice round at 10 meters. On target number 1 left, we have Hannah Wright. On target number 1 right, we have Brooke Swigger. On target number 2 left, we have Jackson Starkweather. On number 2 right, we have Jewel Mueller. On number 3 left, we have Vance Mueller. On number 3 right, we have Kate Looney, and she is our top archer from 2nd Street. On 4 left, we have Ryan Lee. On 4 right, we have June Lee. On 5 left, we have Will Larison. On 5 right, we have Caleb Crabtree. On 6 left, we have Carson Bush. On 6 right, we have Sydney Fry. And our final archer is on 7 left, we have Donovan Bush, and he is our top archer from Frankfort High. We have a lot of siblings in this round today. Where did she? And on 6 right, we have Sydney Fry, who's shooting right now. She's got a nice group on her target for her first practice round at 10 meters. So we will not be scoring this round, just another practice round for 10 meters, our first practice round at 10 meters, and when they go back, they will be shooting their first round for score. So this is going to be their first scoring round at 10. They've got 5 arrows, and these are all for score, going towards the final score, starting now. Even though we don't have shooting partners this year because of COVID regulations, it is almost like we have shooting partners because of, even though we're shooting alone, we have people at the targets next to us that we're able to talk to and that we're able to talk to between rounds and while we're waiting to be scored. This is Kate Looney from 2nd Street, again, our top archer from 2nd Street. And so she just finished her first scoring round at 10, and we will see her final score at the end, but she is our top archer from 2nd Street. So now we'll be scoring our first arrows from 10 meters for this flight. We've got our, again, Pat O'Connell, our national coordinator, and he's down there with the coach from Franklin County, the archery coach from Franklin County, Todd Bailey. Oh, it goes right there. And now we've got John Stout, who our Bondurant coach, but he's still here helping out with the scoring and just being a lane judge, even though his kids aren't shooting right now. And again, very different scoring this year. We're not seeing what we usually see with partner scoring and then just lane judges verifying scores that we're uncertain of. Now the lane judges are our scorers. We aren't scoring for our partners. They are scoring for us. So we definitely need them this year. Now our archers are back at the waiting line, just waiting for our second scoring round from 10 meters. This is the stance that we always take at the beginning of a round. It's you put your bow on your toe just wait until for that first whistle to blow so that you are, it's good to shoot now. The range is not as full for this round, but we have lots of archers. Tomorrow we've got 6 more flights tomorrow and 1 flight after this one tonight. We have a total of 116 archers shooting this weekend. And something else that's different about this archery season, we don't have our typical bow racks. Now we have our we have chairs that we're using so that we have our own individual places to put the bows so that we're not dealing with cross-contamination between the touching of the bows. That's what we were working on in between flights, was cleaning everything so that it was safe for when the archers for this flight came in. So this is different for us this year, but we've got the basketball chairs, and that's our bow racks for this year. Different than the typical bow racks that you're usually seeing at tournaments. And as you can see, once our lane officials are done scoring, the archers are able to pull their arrows and take them back to their quiver and then return to the waiting line to wait for the next round. So our second round of scoring for 10 meters is wrapping up now, and then we'll have one more round of scoring at 10, and then we will be moving on to 15. So this flight we've got archers from 2nd Street and Frankfort High, and archery is a sport that you compete with people from all the way from 4th grade up to 12th grade. You can start really whenever, but a lot of people will start in elementary school, and really you can start at whatever point, because once you learn it, it's the same skills. And the archer that we can see right now, he has a finger tab on his hand, and that is really just for archers. Like, sometimes some archers shoot better with a finger tab and other archers don't. It's really just extra protection for your fingers because they can start to hurt after multiple rounds of shooting. So it's really archers' preference. Some archers use them, some archers don't. Some archers find them helpful, and some archers, if they use them, it doesn't work out too well. But it does work very well for some archers. That is our top archer from Frankfort High, Donovan Bush. So we're scoring our last round of arrows from 10 meters. After this, we'll be moving back to 15 for a practice and 3 more scoring rounds before the end of this flight. Another nice group on 6R from Sydney Fry. And down at 1R with Brooke Swager. He also had a nice group on his target. That's another thing about archery. It's an individual sport as well as a team sport. You can win individually and also win as a team. So our archers are moving their quivers back to the 15-meter line. And then we will start with our first practice round at 15 meters. So now we're officially back at 15 meters, got 4 more rounds left. 1 practice, 3 scoring. Taking our bows from our makeshift bow racks, heading up to the line. In our first targets, we can see Hannah Wright, Brooke Swager, Jackson Starkweather, Jewel Mueller, Vance Mueller, and Kate Looney on our first 6 targets. Now we've got a shot of Ryan Lee from 2nd Street. Now last archer is off the line, and now they'll pull their arrows and wait for their first scoring end at 15. Usually the tournaments are a bit more lively because you're able to talk with your shooting partner, and typically you're shooting with someone from another school, so it's a good opportunity to meet other people and to meet people from other schools, see how long they've been shooting, their experience with archery. People from other parts of the state, or even out of the state if you're at a national tournament. In this tournament, we are shooting for state qualifying scores. Since we can't have a region tournament like we typically do, this tournament is to shoot a score that will qualify you for state. And once you get to state, then you qualify for nationals, and then nationals. After that, it's world. Kentucky typically has the largest state tournament, as we are the first state that started the Archery in the Schools program, and then other states joined, and so it was named the National Archery in the Schools program. And as I was talking about earlier, you can see Sydney Fry's bow is customized colors to match Frankfort High colors. She's got blue and orange and white to match. But that's one of the fun new things as archery has grown over the years. You're able to have more customizable bows and just to have a little more fun with it. We've got some conversation between coaches and archers. It's always nice to be able to go back and talk to your coaches and talk to just people back there and just talk about your round and whatever they saw that they saw you could improve on for the next round, just to get that score up as high as you can. We've got some TikTok dances going on down on the range as we're waiting. Anything to fill the time. You'd probably see a lot more of that if we were not in masks and socially distancing. We'd probably see a lot more group dancing going on the range. It's typically pretty fun down on the range, but COVID regulations, we gotta stay safe, so there's not as many of us down there, but We still try to make it fun. We've got our archers heading back to the line after their first scoring round at 15. They've got 2 more rounds to score, and then they'll get their final score at the end, see what their results are.
Looney's in 3-0, right?
Who's at 3-0? Yes.
Alright, that's who he's going to try to get a little tighter shot right here. Stay there. Maybe coach can be slower zoom in.
We've got a shot on Kate Looney, again our top archer from 2nd Street. Now I've got a shot on our top archer, Donovan Bush from Frankfort High. Look at that shot for Kate Looney. Right down the middle. What a sound to hear. The rattling of arrows. Basketball, we've got a swooshing net. Archery, we've got rattling arrows. So now our lane officials will head down and score for their second round. And then they've got 1 more round of scoring left. Again, we see Lisa Fry out there. She's down there with Will Larison on target 5 left. And she, again, is our state coordinator. She's here helping with the new app, the new scoring app. Test run for that. Got our last archers scoring and pulling their arrows to head back to our third and final round of this flight. Third and final round from 15 will be scored, and then the final scores will be updated. We can see our archery coach from Frankfort High talking with Sydney Fry, Lisa Fry, and Donovan Bush. A good community talk between archers and coaches. Got a shot right here on our top archer. Again, our top archer from Frankfort High, Donovan Bush. We're going to be able to see his target and how his target's looking. Should try and get a shot of his target and Sydney's target.
Can you get Sydney's target in there as well?
So now we're able to see both Sydney's target and Donovan's target. Sydney really is staying in that yellow. Doing a great job today. She's got her hair in 2 beautiful braids. Katniss Everdeen look going on. Again in the center. And that last arrow right in there. A great round for Sydney. A great ending round to finish off the tournament. So right now that green means archers are able to go. The range is safe and ready to go. That's Sydney Fry's target right there, 6 right. You can see how close she got her arrows. That's a great group. Again, rattling of arrows. That's what we like to hear at archery. John's down there helping with the observing of the final round of scoring. Again, our coach from Bondurant, and we've got a shot of Donovan Bush in his final scoring round.
Pinch it up. We can just kind of handball it around a little bit and see some renditions. I like that a lot. But kind of gives the shot direction of where he's going to go. Kind of easing in on that. It's that much softer. Fantastic. Ethan's slow.
If you can get a shot at 6 left, that is Donovan Bush's brother.
Okay, can you go to six? See if I just a little bit left.
And at 6 left, we've got Carson Bush and scoring his final round. He's got some good arrows in there.
Can you get him in the front? There you go. Good. Just stay low. Just stay low. Stay easy.
And again, we've got the end of the round. They can either help to clean up the targets or they can keep the target face for themselves, but we got to get new faces up there for the archers that will be shooting in the final round tonight.
Okay. Okay. Now you just stay easy. Just stay easy. We're gonna kind of group. Group right there, and then gonna shoot it. Go ahead.
And archers can either keep the targets as a little memory for how they did at that tournament, or they could take it home and use that as something to practice with, to practice, or even take it to their own practices to get in that rhythm of shooting at a paper target.
That's slow. That's slow. We're just gonna group. Stay still.
And we'll be right back after a short break. We're going to take a break in between flights, and we'll be back with our final flight of the night at 8 o'clock. So we're back with our final flight of the night. All of our archers in this round are from Western Hills. We've got 6 seniors shooting in this round out of our total 8 seniors that we have at Western Hills. And once they all get up to the line, we will name off who is at each target.
Is that start naming targets? Like, you just point all the way to the left, like artillery, this is gonna be a practice run now, but we're gonna start in 2L and then 3L. 2L first round and then 3L. It's basically everything. No, it's not. Hold on. Try this. Okay.
So at the link right there, you can follow that link to see the scores as they're getting updated. We should have the scores from the first round tonight in there already, and in a little bit we will have the scores for the previous flight with Frankfort High. And then after this flight, we should have the scores up from the Western Hills flight of tonight.
Where do I have that at? Because I hadn't charted it.
www.atnasptournaments.org, and you're going to search for the Western Hills High School Frankfort Invitational.
We're at. I just have a long shot at looking in there.
Right now, we're just waiting for our archers to get the signal to go to the line, which is 2 whistles. The get bow whistle. It's a signal to go up to the line and wait for the next whistle to shoot.
Yeah. Ethan just stayed on there.
So this is our first practice end at 10 meters, and so they will have 5 practice arrows before their scoring round. And starting down at target 1 left, we have Nathan Miracle. Target 1 right, we have Madeline Albers. At 2 left, we have a senior, Tabor Valentine. At 2 right, we have Lilia Pace. At 3 left, we have Valerie Sanchez. At 3 right, we have Matthew Meyer, who's a senior. At 4 left, we have James Lathery, who is a senior. At 4 right, we have George Younger. At 5 left, we have Gretchen Warfield. At 5 right, we have Sarah Jones, who is a senior. At 6 left, we have Jill Jacobs, who is a senior. At 6 right, we have Stephen Meyer, who is a brother of Matthew Meyer, who's a senior. And at 7 left, we have Matthias Jones. And our final archer is at 7 right, Brooke Aldridge, and she is also a senior.
Thank you. Which one you got? That's about it, isn't it?
There is Jill Jacobs. She's a senior.
Who is that? We're gonna start with her.
Are you going to do the individuals during scoring rounds? Okay, that's what I thought.
Okay, we're gonna start the scoring round playing 2L.
Yeah.
And you can get one right now. I think some of them to get the shot right.
So right now they're just heading up to pull their arrows. These arrows won't be scored, just a practice round, but everyone seeming to do pretty good for the first practice round.
2L and then 3L. But keep going so you can try to make the whole one. Nice. So here's our numbers. 2 for the short arc, 3 for the arc, 3, 5, 7 arc. So these are 2 for the short arc,
And luckily, as a team, we were able to get some matching gaiters and masks so that we can match during COVID.
and then we're going to shoot for one another. Nope, we're in 2L.
So now this will be our first scored arrows um, from 10 meters. And right now we've got a shot on our senior Tabor Valentine.
And who is yours?
Tabor Valentine is one of our seniors. His personal best score is 281, and if you don't know, the highest you can shoot is 300. He's been shooting archery since 4th grade, and he plans to enlist in the military after high school. He's doing pretty good so far. He's got 2 in the yellow.
He's on one.
Another 1 for Tabor. Look at that. We're gonna something good about doing this virtually. We're able to spotlight our seniors in a way that we wouldn't usually get to, because archery is a sport it's difficult to have a senior night for. And it's a good round for Tabor. But archery is a sport that's difficult to have a senior night for because it's not really like you have a halftime that you could have one during. So
And defense, 2L. And next up is
and our last archer on the line is Matthew Meyer. He's also a senior.
this is an exciting shot.
He's typically one of the last ones on the line. He takes his time shooting.
And you take the center.
You can see our matching mask right there. So now our archers will be heading up to score, and our lane officials will be assisting with that. But we have it's nice to be able to shoot at your own school because this is your typical environment. You're always shooting here for practice. And so that's a benefit of having a tournament at your own school. You already know what it's like. You're not coming in here not knowing anything. You know how it's set up, you know how it works here. Yes.
All right, Matthew Meyer is ready. Take your time, Matthew. Yep, jump.
And again, once the arrows are scored, archers are able to pull their arrows and return them to their quivers and then return to the waiting line. Right there you can see
He's holding good straight. Nicely done. And he's got the hook.
Right there, we've got Pat O'Connell and Todd Bailey from. Todd Bailey is the coach at Franklin County, and um, Pat O'Connell, our national coordinator. Again, here testing out the new app for scoring. And again, if you would like to see live score updates, you can visit www.nasptournaments.org and search for WHHS Frankfort Invitational.
Ethan, this is kind of like you. Do some tests.
And we see John Stout again. He's the Bondrit coach, but he's a familiar face to the Western Hills Archers as he was one of our coaches when we were shooting there. So we're used to seeing him around. We're used to him helping us with archery.
Any points to what?
And even though things are a little different, we're still able to have some social interaction at the tournaments, which is nice. So right there we've got Jill Jacobs and Sarah Jones, both seniors.
Ethan, Ethan is up.
And now they're just finalizing the scores, looks like, on the app. But first going round at 10 is done.
Cleans up.
Right there you can see our matching team masks, which are something new this year, but we are
Good job, Ethan.
glad to be able to match with our shirts as well as with our masks.
Second count in 3-5. Nothing. Continuing to try zone looking at the regional. This is number 5, June. Always zone towards him. Coming closer towards us all.
So now we've got a shot on our senior Matthew Meyer. His personal best is a 284. He started archery in the 3rd grade, and his plans after high school are to attend Kentucky Wesleyan College on a soccer scholarship and study English education. So Matthew does not only participate in archery, he also participates in soccer, as do other archers. We're not just one sport.
Second shot is up. Coming back to Ethan. Ethan all right.
A nice follow through from Matthew, a good smooth release.
Coming back to 10. Second shot up. Passes up. Coming back to Ethan. Ethan all right.
As I mentioned earlier, Matthew's little brother the is on the line as well, Stephen Meyer. They've both been shooting together since elementary school. As I said, archery is often a family affair.
Got a nice ball there. Good ball. Point is up for the first shot. Hopefully Ethan can match here.
Often with siblings shooting together and parents.
Coming back to Ethan.
Parents are often volunteer coaches as well.
Pretty good. Fifth point.
It's a good second scoring round for Matthew. At least 3 tens right there.
Ten.
It's 10 and 9 is in the yellow.
Okay.
But like the 10 has 2 circles.
Okay.
And so, but like it's not any different. It's just to show closer. Like I think it's really more for shoot offs.
That's okay. All right, clench your
See, our senior Matthew Meyer, he is there pulling his arrows once they've been scored. See Jill Jacobs heading back to put her arrows away, and Sarah and Gretchen are waiting to be scored. Lisa Fry is up there helping to score Sarah's arrows. There she is, verifying that those arrows are correct, and after Sarah verifies them, then she's able to pull her arrows. So we've got Coach Bill Jones right here talking to Stephen Meyer. Bill is always wanting to help, always talking to everybody, always just hanging out and offering some advice. So, offering some words of wisdom right here. And on 4 left, we have James Lathery, who is a senior. His personal best score is 251. He started archery as a freshman in high school, and after high school he hopes to open his own business as a party planner. Call James for your parties. Once he's out of high school, he'll be running his own business. And James is another example of that archery is a sport that you can start at any age. You don't have to start when you're in elementary school. You can start when you're in high school. You can start when you're in middle school. You could even start as a senior in high school. Again, back with our makeshift bow racks for the season. And on 3 right, we've got another one in the center from Matthew Meyer, another senior. This is his last arrow for the second scoring round at 10 meters. Let's see where it goes. Again in the center. Rattling arrows, what we like to see. So now we're heading up to score our second round from 10 meters. We've got a shot of two seniors right there, Matthew Meyer and James Lathery. Right there in the khakis is Stephen Meyer, brother of senior Matthew Meyer. He's got some good arrows on his target as well. Maybe it's a brotherly connection, causing those arrows to fly straight and into the center. So now I've got one final scoring round from 10 meters before we move back to 15. And after we're finished pulling arrows, that round will start. Not 5R yet at the scoring round.
Yeah, this is not it yet. This is I got you. Clink up.
Right here we have a shot of George Younger and James Lathery as they get their bows and head out to the line. Here we have a shot of James Lathery and George Younger. A shot of George Younger as he's knocking his bow. Here we have a shot of Matthias Jones, Stephen Meyer, and our senior Brooke Aldridge. Here we have a shot of Madeline Albers and Tabor Valentine just walked by. And we got Matthew Meyer, our final archer on the line, but it seems to pay off for him, so we can't be mad at him for it. So they're heading up to just get their arrows. These arrows are not for score, just a practice round. And if you would like to see live scores, again, you can go to www.nasp tournaments.org and search for WHHS Frankfort Invitational in the tournament section. So now our archers are prepping for their first scoring round at 15 meters. She's on 5 left. Right now we're on 5 right. So after I talk about Sarah, you can move to Gretchen. And right now we've got a shot of our senior Sarah Jones. Sarah's personal best is a 257. She started archery in 4th grade, but she didn't do archery in middle school, but came back to it in high school. She's undecided on where she is going for college, but she wants to major in architecture. So now I've got a shot of Sarah's target. Now we've got 2 seniors shooting right next to each other, Sarah and Jill. Sarah's got a nice target up there. So now our archers are heading up to score their first round at 15 meters. Either being scored or just waiting on a lane official to come score their arrows for them so that they can pull their arrows. There we have a shot of our senior Sarah and Lisa Fry. Here we have a shot of Sarah and Gretchen Warfield. Not Sarah, Lisa Fry and Gretchen Warfield. Lisa is helping with her scoring. And there, Lisa just verified that score for her so that she's able to pull her arrows now. We've got another shot of Stephen Meyer sporting that team mask.
She's not facing you, so it's not very obvious. That's it.
Now we see our senior Jill Jacobs on target 6 left. Jill is a left-handed shooter. And so Jill's personal best score is a 286. She started archery in the 4th grade and is currently undecided on where she'll be going to college, but is planning on majoring in political science with a minor in philosophy in order to go to law school and hopefully have a career as an immigration attorney. So we'll get a shot of Jill's target. Jill's got a nice pink bow. I had a pink bow for the longest time. Then I had to get a new one. It was getting old. So now I've got a shot of Gretchen Warfield by request. And then back to Jill as she shoots her last arrow for the second scoring round at 15, and it's in the yellow. Now we're back to Gretchen and Sarah. As Gretchen shoots her last arrow and Sarah shoots her second to last. Now our archers are scoring in their not final, second to last scoring round.
Is this the last round?
Yeah, this is the last round. Brooke.
This is the 6th round.
Yeah.
Okay.
Brooke will be last.
Okay, the last round.
So after this, our archers have one more round, and then final scores will be available. Now we see our senior Brooke Aldridge coming back from the line. She has purple arrows, which is one of the new arrow colors that we have been able to have. As archery's gotten more popular, we've gotten a wider selection of arrow colors, and it's always at the big tournaments. They always Easton Arrows, who that is the company that the arrows that we use. There's always a booth to vote on the new arrow color. Now we have black arrows, we have teal arrows, we have purple arrows, we have pink arrows. All new colors now as archery has expanded as a sport. See Lilia Pace walking back to the line. She has teal arrows, and she is a junior. This will be our final round at 15 meters, third scoring round at 15, final scoring round overall. So now I've got a shot of our senior Brooke Aldridge. Her personal best score is 279. She started archery in the 4th grade, and after high school, she plans to attend a 4-year college in Kentucky. She's got her matching bow and arrows, purple bow, and a nice shot from Brooke Aldridge right in the center. Shooting her final arrow, our senior Brooke Aldridge. Final arrow of the tournament for Brooke, and that was a good one. We've got our senior Sarah Jones shooting her last arrows of the tournament. And Matthew Meyer with his final arrow, last arrow of the night from Matthew Meyer. We see Coach Bill Jones again down there talking to everybody. That's Coach Gary Thornton down there talking to senior Matthew Meyer. Coach Gary's son was a senior a few years ago, but he still continues to coach at Western Hills. We all love Gary. And so now we are scoring our final arrows of tonight, of tonight's flight, and after this, scores will be posted, and you can check that at www.nasptournaments.org and search for WHHS Frankfort Invitational. We see Lisa Fry right there talking to Sarah Jones as they confirm her last scored arrows. And so now the cleanup at the end of the night begins. We will replace target faces and prepare for tomorrow. So tomorrow we'll be back with our first flight at 8 a.m. tomorrow. We've got 2 seniors from Western Hills shooting tomorrow. We've got Franklin County is shooting tomorrow. Elkhorn Middle is shooting tomorrow. And we also have Bondurant Middle School shooting tomorrow as well, and more Western Hills students are shooting tomorrow. So be sure to join us back here tomorrow at 8 a.m. for the continuation of the tournament. We've got 6 more flights tomorrow, and we will see you then.